Thus Sri Hari's births and exploits are many. They are all charming, delightful, and marvelous. In every cycle of creation, the Lord manifests himself and enacts lovely sports of various kinds. And the great sages have on each such occasion sung his glory, sung his story in most sacred strains, relating wonderful anecdotes of diverse kinds, hearing which the wise marvel not. Infinite is Sri Hari, and infinite are his stories. Each saint sings and hears them in divergent ways. The lovely sports of Ramachandra cannot be sung even in crores of kalpas. This episode, O Bhavani, has been narrated by me in order to show that even enlightened sages are deluded by Sri Hari's Maya.
Did we say hi? Just
Oh, I must say hi. I'm just used to studying. Do you want to say hi?
no.
Hi.
It just jump straight in.
I'm so used to doing the other one when to start reading. Sorry. I don't know where I'm up to now.
Oh, sorry.
Sri Hari's Maya. The Lord is sportive and a friend of the suppliant. He is easy to serve and rids one of all sorrows. I think of this podcast as more of a conversational style. Like we don't have to say g'day. It's just like a continuing conversation. I don't know if that makes any sense. I don't know. There is no god, man, or sage whom Sri Hari's powerful Maya cannot infatuate. Bearing this in mind, one should adore the Lord of this great Maya. Hear, O daughter of the mountain king, another reason why the unbegotten, qualified, and formless Brahma became king of Ayodhya. I shall relate at length the marvelous story connected with it. The Lord whom you saw roaming in the forest with his brother Lakshmana in the garb of hermits, and whose doing drove and whose doing drove you mad in the form of Sati to such an extent that the shadow of that madness haunts you even to this day. Hear his exploits, which serve as a cure for the disease of delusion. The sportive deeds that were performed by the Lord in that birth. I shall relate them all to the best of my talents. Hearing Shankara's words, O Bharadwaja, Uma blushed and smiled with love. Shiva, who has a bull emblazoned on his standard, then began to relate the cause of the Lord's descent on that particular occasion. I proceed to tell you all about it, O Bharadwaja. Listen attentively. The story of Sri Rama wipes out all the impurities of the Kali age, brings forth all blessings, and is most charming. I'll just go a bit more. Swayambhuva, footnote, so called because he was born of Swayambhu, the self-born Brahma. It is stated in the Puranas that the Creator divided himself into two halves, one of which was a male and the other female. The former was known by the name of Swayambhuva, and the other as Satarupa. He was the first of the 14 Manus who rule over God's creation in succession, each holding office for 71.1/2 Chaturyugas, or repetitions of 4 yugas. Back to the text. Swayambhuva Manu had Satarupa as wife. Of them was born this human race. Peerless in God's creation, the piety and conduct of the pair were excellent. The standard of moral set up by them is sung by the Vedas even to this day. Their son was King Uttanapada, who begot the celebrated devotee of Sri Hari, Dhruva. Manu's younger son was known as Priyavrata, who is mentioned with praise by the Vedas and the Puranas. They had a daughter too, Devahuti by name, who was the favorite consort of the sage Kardama, and who bore in her womb the all-powerful and benevolent Lord Kapila, the primal divinity who is compassionate to the humble and who openly expounded the philosophy of Sankhya, an adept as he was in the inquiry after the ultimate principles. The said Manu ruled for a long period and followed the Lord's commandments in the form of the scriptural ordinance in every way.
I can still see for a bit longer, but yeah, the light will probably need to go on.
You tell me when.
I have reached the 4th stage of my life, old age, while I am still living under the roof of my house as a householder. But I have not yet lost my relish for the pleasures of sense, he said to himself. He felt sore distressed at heart that his life had been wasted without devotion to Sri Hari. Manu then perforce resigned the throne to his son and departed to the forest with his wife. Preeminent of all holy places is the celebrated Naimisaranya, the modern Nimsa in Urdu, which is most sacred and bestows success on those striving for realization. Multitudes of sages and adepts live there. Did you move the camera?
Yeah, you just set up, but before that you couldn't see. You were so low, and it was like that, and it was like this.
Glad of heart, King Manu produced.
Hang on, yeah, you keep going. Watch. Look out.
Glad of heart, King Manu proceeded to that place. Passing along the road, the king and queen of resolute mind looked like
Hang on.
incarnations of
I'm gonna be able to do a good job. Just let me compose myself for a second.
Okay. Passing along the road with living.
Now you talk properly, and I'll do it properly too.
Passing along the road, the king and queen of resolute mind looked like incarnations of spiritual wisdom and devotion, respectively. On reaching the bank of the Gomati, They bathe with delight in the limpid stream. Adepts and enlightened sages came to see him, recognizing in the royal sage a champion of virtue. The sages reverently...
You can hear you back.
You finished amusing yourself?
Yep.
The sages reverently took them to all the holy and lovely spots and that were scattered here and there. With emancipated bodies and clad in hermits' robes, they daily listened to the Puranas in the assembly of saints. They further devoutly repeated the 12-lettered formula, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva. Their mind was fondly devoted to the lotus feet of Lord Vasudeva, or the all-pervading Vishnu. They lived on vegetables, fruits, and roots, and meditated on Brahma, the Absolute, who is truth, consciousness, and bliss combined. Again, they started undergoing penance for the sake of Sri Hari, giving up roots and fruits for water alone. Their heart ever clamored, "Let us see with our eyes that Supreme Lord who is without attributes, without parts, and without beginning or end, who is contemplated upon by the exponents of the highest reality, whom the Vedas describe in negative terms such as not this, who is bliss itself, unconditioned and without comparison, and from a particle of whose being emanate a number of Shambhos." A number of Shambhos, there's more Viranchis and Vishnus. Even such a Lord is subordinate to the will of his devotees and assumes for the sake of form suitable for sport. If the above utterance of the Vedas is true, our desire will be surely accomplished. In this way, 6,000 years elapsed even while they lived on water. I can't go a day without food, let alone what? Why were you poking me?
Yep, you can't go a day without food. Yep.
Why did you poke me? Anyway. Then for another 7 millennia, they lived on air alone. For 10,000... Why do you keep doing that?
Well, I don't know what to tell you.
I'm just shocked that you can live on air alone for 7 millennia. Not me. Anyway, for 10,000 years, they refused to inhale even air. It gets worse. They held their breath for 10,000 years.
Oh, that's impressive.
They would win some really deep sea diving competitions, that's for sure. And remain standing on one leg. It gets worse. Beholding their great penance, Brahma, Hari, and Hara repeatedly called on Manu and tempted him in many ways, saying, "Ask for a boon, like to be able to stand on the other leg." But the king and queen were most resolute and did not swerve in spite of their deity's efforts to deflect them from their course. Although their fame had been reduced to a mere skeleton, they might have overdone it, sorry. Although their frame had been reduced to a mere skeleton, there was not the least anguish in their heart. The omniscient Lord now recognized the king and queen as his own servants. The ascetic couple solely depended on him. In the meantime, a most deep voice thundered from the heaven, "Ask for a boon." The voice was steeped in the nectar of compassion and was so charming that it infused life into the dead. Entering through the cavity of the ears, when it reached their very heart, they found their body attractive, animate, and robust as before, as if they had just returned from home. As the royal couple heard these words, which were delightful to the ear as nectar itself, the hair on the body bristled and a thrill ran through their limbs. Then falling prostrate on the ground, and with this his heart overflowing with love, Manu spoke.
Listen,
O Lord,
O Lord, you are a wish-yielding tree and a cow of plenty to your servants. The dust below your feet is adored by Brahma, Hari, and Hara. You are easy to serve and a fountain
That's
of
not true. You have to
all
stand on
blessing.
one leg, not breathe, be a skeleton, not eat, not drink. I'm not sure that's as easy as it sounds.
You are the protector of the suppliant and the Lord of all creation, both animate and inanimate, O friend of the forlorn. If you have any affection for us,
Let us eat.
be pleased to grant this boon to us. The form which dwells in Shiva's heart and is sought by sages, which sports like a swan in the lake of Bhushundi's mind, and is glorified by the Vedas as both with and without attributes. Be gracious to us and let us feast our eyes on that form. O reliever of the distress of the suppliant, the soft and humble words of the royal couple, steeped as they were in the nectar of love, were liked by the Lord very much, full of creation for his devotees and a storehouse of compassion. All the you're trying to make it look like nothing's happening.
What's happening?
These of love were liked by the Lord very much, full of affection for his devotees and a storehouse of compassion. The all-powerful Lord who pervades the whole universe manifested himself. Billions and millions of loves blushed to behold the elegance of his swarthy form. I actually need a burp. You keep going from there.
Okay. Billions and millions of loves blushed to behold the elegance of his swarthy form, which resembled a blue lotus in the softness of its touch. Oh, yes, it's all about me, everyone. Okay. Where were we? A sapphire in its gloss, and a dark cloud in its freshness. His countenance, which resembled the autumnal full moon, was... Hang on, I'll just shut the door so they're not disturbed.
I just heard you say it's all about me, so I couldn't help myself.
His countenance, which resembled the autumnal full moon, was the very perfection of beauty. Lovely were his cheeks and chin, and his neck resembled the conch shell in all its spiral shape. His ruddy lips, teeth, and nose were charming. His smile put to shame the rays of the moon. Oh, yeah, that's nice. His eyes possessed the exquisite beauty of fresh-blown lotuses, and his lovely glance captivated the heart. His eyebrows stole the beauty of love's bow. His eyebrows. We're getting really deep into facial features here. Nobody's got good eyebrows unless they're manicured. Anyway, his eyebrows stole the beauty of love's bow, and a sectarian mark shone on his forehead. Fish-shaped earrings hung from his earlobes, and a crown adorned his head. His curly locks looked like a swarm of bees. There you go, swarm of bees. His breast was marked by a curl of hair and adorned with a beautiful wreath of sliven flowers, a string of precious stones, and other jeweled ornaments. His strong and well-built neck resembled that of a lion, and the lovely sacred thread was suspended from it. His long, beautiful arms resembled the trunk of an elephant. The ornaments adorning them were also charming. A quiver was tied to his waist, and his hands bore an arrow and a bow. We're moving down, everyone. It's about to get interesting. His yellow rose put to shame streaks of lightning, and his belly had 3 folds. Okay. While his attractive navel robbed, as it were, the eddies of the Yumna of their beauty. Who are we talking about? Who is this hunk of spunk?
I'm getting tired.
His lotus. We'll just finish talking about whoever this hunk of spunk is. Anyway, his lotus feet, which attracted the minds of sages, like so many bees, were
Just like this.
buoyant.
Is that
description?
Is that how they
Attracted the bees?
The
I'm not sure.
The minds of sages.
It's bees, not feet. Actually,
the feet.
Doesn't feel very good. Sorry. Thanks. His left side shone his primordial energy, Sita, who is ever devoted to him and who is a storehouse of beauty and the source of the universe. Sita, who stood to the left of Sri Rama, was the same from a fragment of whose being animated countless Lakshmis, Umas, and Brahmins, Sarasvatis, all minds of virtue, and the mere play of whose eyebrows brings the cosmos into existence. On the form of Sri Hari, the ocean of beauty, Manu and Satrapupa gazed intently with unblinking eyes. That incomparable beauty they looked on with reverence and would not feel satiated with it. Overcome with joy, they lost consciousness of their body and fell flat on the ground. Clasping his feet with their hands, the gracious Lord touched their heads with his own lotus hands and lifted them up at once. The compassionate Lord then said something that we will read next time.
Yeah.
Yep, let's do it. All right. So tune in next time to see what the compassionate Lord says to this hunk of spunk that I'm not sure who it. So who are we talking about? Are we talking about Ram?
Well, Sita and Ram were there.
If you know who we're talking about, please write it somewhere. Anyway.
So did you get the page?
149.
Oh. All right, everybody.
Peace.
Peace out.